The Young and the Restless spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, and we have so much to unpack about the absolute madness happening in Genoa City right now. Grab your coffee, or whatever you need to get through this, because things are getting incredibly intense. Let's dive right into it. So, we need to talk about Nick Newman. Honestly, I am still trying to process what just happened on our screens, because it was a lot. Like, a whole lot. We all know Nick has been spiraling. Ever since that whole Vegas nightmare with Matt Clark, Nick has been completely off the rails. He got hooked on drugs, and we all thought, okay, he's in rehab, he's getting help, maybe he can finally heal. But no. Of course not. Because this is Genoa City, and nobody is allowed to just peacefully recover in a facility. Nick just broke out of rehab. He escaped. And he is in a completely unstable mental state. The cravings are still there. They are burning through him, and you can just see it in his eyes. The desperation. The paranoia. It's honestly hard to watch because this is Nick. The so-called moral compass of the Newman family just completely reduced to a frantic, paranoid mess. And I get it, addiction is brutal, but the writers are really pushing him to the absolute edge here. And it's not just the addiction that's driving him crazy. It's the paranoia. Nick is convinced that the entire world is out to get him, and more specifically, he is convinced that Adam is out to get him. Which, let's be real, is the default setting for Nick Newman. Whenever anything goes wrong in his life, he immediately points the finger at Adam. But this time, it's amplified by the drugs and the withdrawal. He's not thinking straight. He's not thinking at all. He's just acting on pure, raw, unfiltered emotion and a brain that is screaming for a fix. You almost feel bad for him, but then he goes and does something so incredibly reckless and dangerous that you just want to shake him. I mean, what was he even thinking going straight to society? Of all places. He didn't go to Sharon for help. He didn't go to Victor. He went straight into a public restaurant looking for a fight. So let's set the scene at society. You guys know how society is. It's all clinking glasses, high-end appetizers, people making hushed billion-dollar deals over martinis. It's not the place for a back-alley brawl. But there's Adam, sitting at a table with Sally Spectra. And they are having a really intense, really private conversation. Because Victor, surprise, surprise, has been launching these relentless attacks on Spectre Charles. Victor is just on a warpath lately, tearing down everyone in his way, and Sally's company is caught in the crossfire. And Adam, who is actually trying to be a decent guy for once, is trying to comfort her. He's secretly planning to buy her company to protect her from Victor's wrath. He's actually putting his own neck on the line, risking Victor's anger, just to make sure Sally doesn't lose everything she's worked so hard for. And I have to pause here and just say, maybe I'm being too harsh on Adam sometimes, but in this specific moment, he is genuinely trying to do the right thing. He cares about Sally. Even though she's with Billy, even though she's carrying Billy's baby, which is a whole other mess that we will talk about later, Adam still cares about her. He doesn't want to see her destroyed by his father. So he's sitting there, talking softly to her, trying to assure her that he's got a plan, that he's going to handle Victor, that her company will be safe. It's actually a really sweet, vulnerable moment between the two of them. They have so much history, and you can tell there's still a deep well of respect and affection there. Adam is stepping up. He's being the protector. But then, oh boy then. The doors to society practically fly open, and in walks Nick Newman. And he looks terrible. I mean, the makeup department really did a job on him. He looks sweaty, unhinged. His eyes are wild. He looks like a man who hasn't slept in days and is running purely on adrenaline and toxic paranoia. The whole restaurant just kind of stops. You know that quiet that falls over a room when everyone realizes something really bad is about to happen? That's what it was. Nick spots Adam and Sally at their table, and you can practically see the fuse blow in his head. He doesn't see his brother comforting a friend. He sees a betrayal. He sees a massive conspiracy. Nick marches right up to their table, and he just loses. He starts screaming at Adam. And I mean screaming. He accuses Adam of taking advantage of him being locked away in rehab. He actually believes that Adam orchestrated this whole thing, or at least is using Nick's absence to swoop in and steal Sally's affection. Which is insane. Sally is with Billy. Sally is pregnant. But Nick doesn't care about facts right now. He's in a drug-induced paranoid delusion. He's yelling that Adam is a backstabber, that Adam always waits for him to be at his weakest so he can swoop in and take everything. He accuses Adam of manipulating Victor, of turning their father against him while he was away getting treatment. Honestly, what is Nick even talking about here? Victor hasn't forgotten about Nick. Victor is terrified for Nick. But Nick can't see that. All he sees is Adam sitting with Sally, and it triggers every single insecurity he has ever had about his brother. He's yelling, "You always do this. You always take what's mine." And Adam is just sitting there, initially trying to stay calm. Adam is looking at him like, "Nick, you need help. You need to go back to the clinic." Adam is actually trying to de-escalate the situation. He's putting his hands up, telling Nick to lower his voice, trying to protect Sally from this outburst. But Nick is beyond reasoning with. He is a runaway train of anger and withdrawal. And then it gets physical. Because of course it does. These two cannot be in a room together when tensions are high without throwing punches. It's like a law of physics in Genoa City. Nick just lunges at Adam. He grabs him by the collar and yanks him out of his chair. A table gets knocked over, glasses shatter everywhere. It's absolute chaos. People in the restaurant are gasping. Some are pulling out their phones probably. The waitstaff is panicking. And Adam, who has been trying so hard to be the bigger person lately, is forced to defend himself. But Adam doesn't want to hurt Nick. You can see it in Adam's body language. He's blocking the punches, he's trying to restrain his brother, but Nick is fighting with that crazy, wild strength of someone who is completely out of their mind. It's a brutal, messy fight. It's not polished choreography, it's just ugly, raw, and visceral. Nick is swinging wildly, knocking over heavy wooden chairs, screaming obscenities at Adam that I can't even repeat here. He's completely feral, like an animal backed into a corner. And let's talk about the real victim in all of this, Sally. Sally is standing right there, pregnant, high risk, stressed out of her mind about her company, and now she is literally caught in the middle of a violent brawl between two grown men who are acting like feral animals. She's backing away, her hands over her stomach, and you can see the absolute terror on her face. She doesn't know whether to run or scream for help. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Sally has been through so much. We all remember the tragedy with baby Ava. We all know how fragile she feels right now, how desperately she wants this pregnancy to go smoothly. And now she's trapped in a corner of society while Nick is throwing Adam into a wall right next to her. The stress of this alone is enough to cause a medical emergency. She's screaming at them to stop. Stop it! Nick, stop! But they can't hear her. They are in their own toxic Newman bubble of testosterone and unresolved childhood trauma. It's so unfair to Sally. She just came here to talk about her business. And now her health and her baby's health are being put in direct jeopardy because Nick couldn't stay in his rehab bed. I am honestly so worried for Sally right now. The fans on social media are already losing their minds over this scene. My timeline is flooded with people threatening to riot if the writers make Sally lose another baby. We all remember the absolute heartbreak of her losing baby Ava. It was one of the most gut-wrenching storylines this show has done in years, and we do not want a repeat of that trauma. Everyone is terrified that she's going to lose this new baby because of this unnecessary stress. If Nick's unhinged behavior ends up harming Sally or the baby, he is never going to forgive himself. He will carry that guilt forever. And Billy? Oh my God, when Billy finds out about this, he is going to go ballistic. Billy is already so fiercely protective, And if he hears that Nick endangered Sally and his unborn child, well, we might have another massive brawl on our hands. Billy will not hesitate to tear Nick apart. But right now, in this specific moment, it's just Sally, clutching her stomach, panicking, while the Newman brothers tear society apart. Eventually, the private security at society manages to pull them apart, but the damage is done. The restaurant is a total wreck. Broken plates, spilled wine that looks alarmingly like blood on the floor, shattered glass everywhere. Adam is bruised, wiping his lip, looking at his brother with a mix of pity and fury. Nick is panting, restrained by two huge security guards, and still screaming like a madman about how Adam is a thief. And Sally is hyperventilating in the corner, clutching her chest. It's a complete and utter disaster. And you know who is going to have to clean up this massive public mess? Victor. Because it always comes back to Victor. This whole situation is about to land right on the mustache mahogany desk, and it is going to force him into an impossible, devastating corner. Victor is going to have to make a choice. A really, really cruel choice. On one hand, he has Nick, his golden boy, the son he usually favors and protects at all costs. But Nick is completely broken right now. Nick is a massive liability, an addict who is acting violently and erratically in public spaces. Victor loves Nick, but he cannot control him when he's like this, and Victor hates nothing more than a lack of control. On the other hand, he has Adam, the eternal black sheep, the son Victor constantly tests, manipulates, and belittles. But right now, Adam is the one who was actually acting rationally. Adam was the one trying to de-escalate the violence. Adam was the one trying to protect Victor's interests, even if he is secretly scheming to buy Sally's company, but Victor doesn't know the full extent of that yet. Adam is actually showing restraint, which is rare for him. So Victor is standing at this incredible crossroads. So what is Victor going to do? Is he going to punish Adam for fighting back? Is he going to lock Nick up in a padded room? This is a life or death situation for these brothers now. Their rivalry has crossed a line from corporate backstabbing to actual physical danger. And Victor, who loves to play God with his children, is going to have to decide who to protect and who to throw to the wolves. Will he finally see that Adam is trying to change? Or will he blindly defend Nick just because he's sick? I don't know, you guys. I honestly don't know. This show is driving me crazy right now. The writers are just throwing everything at the wall. But I can't look away. What do you think Victor will do? Let me know, because I am exhausted just thinking about it.